What we're going to kind of go over today is um, this is a partnership that you have with IAMS. I see we've got quite a few folks on today, so we'll try to answer questions as we move along. But if not, just know that you'll be able to have access to Rob or myself to answer any questions outside of this. So don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The purpose of the webinar today is really to talk about um, ways where you can get in front of more people. You know, that's think about the time and money it costs you to build a relationship or just get somebody on your calendar, and that's the marketing strategy that we're going to talk about today. So before I get into the weeds too much, I get very passionate about our marketing programs and things like that here. I was an agent years and years ago, and if I had an IMO that provided me with all these tools, I'd probably still be on that side of the fence, but I love helping folks get there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys kind of a overview of what IAMS is all about. I know that we've got a lot of names here that are familiar. For those of you, hey, hi everybody. Welcome back to another one of our webinars, and appreciate your partnership with us. And then there's a ton of names on here that I don't recognize. So if this is your first webinar with us, welcome aboard. Welcome to IAMS. We're happy to have you here. Now, right out of the gate, when you contract with IAMS, we like to give you a little thank you, sir or ma'am, for giving us a chance and helping you grow your life and annuity business. So we have what's called our new producer builders, and that is any production that you write in the first 6 months with us. We're going to go ahead and put that back to you on marketing dollars. So maybe it's helping you get a postcard mailing off and running. Maybe it's just, some cash to pay off some of your marketing bills. Obviously, the more that you write, the higher the bigger the bang, for you. So if you have any questions or want to know where you're at with your new producer builders balance, just give us a call, let us know. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our referral program. So I don't know whether you're a client, whether you're an agent, whether you're me, your marketing director, there's no better compliment than receiving a referral. I've been receiving quite a few referrals lately, and my agents are absolutely loving it because guess what? We're going to give you something back for everything that they write. And it's coming out of our pocket. It doesn't shave anything off of their commission, not at all. It's just a check that we write out to you on a quarterly basis for any life target, indexed annuity, MIGA, SPL, premium. We're going to give that back to you because without you, we would have never had that relationship. So we want to make sure that you appreciate that and feel that appreciation from us. Another thing that you have with IAMS is our back office support. And we have guys that have been with us for 20 or 30 years simply because of this reason right here. We have a motto, and that motto is, we want you to be out there talking to people. You do what you do best. Let us do all the back office stuff for you. Let us stay on the phone with the carrier for an hour to wait for an update on a policy. Let us find, the corrections on apps and help you with all of those, so you're not having to dig through paperwork and find the right form numbers. Let us do the quoting and know all the industry products out there so that you know that you're providing your client with the very best solution. We do all of that for you. And if you think about it, how much time that really saves you so that you can actually have your mindset on speaking with people, cultivating those relationships, and ultimately bringing that business in the door. That is where that partnership lies. And that's what makes us special. We also have our website, which is a excellent tool for all of our agents. And even if you're not contracted with us yet, I still encourage you to go and register on our website because we don't hold your feet to the fire on any of that. We have our YouTube channel on our website. We have Firelight on our website for EAPs. We have term quoting tools. We have a plethora of resources, one-page concepts, fact finders. I mean, I could literally give you a tour and you could get lost in our website for hours if you really wanted to look at everything. So we try to make it easy to find things on our website. And if you ever want one of your directors, life or annuity director, to give you kind of um, a tour, I like to call it, take a tour of our website, just let us know. We'd be happy to do that. And as I mentioned, we have our EAP solutions on our website, Firelight, one of the leading EAP programs out there for annuities. And then we have our life EAP process and systems on our website as well. So if you want your app to be submitted faster, reviewed faster, approved faster, Firelight's the way to go. And I have a story. I have a 98-year-old agent that I walked through Firelight. So if I can have my buddy go through Firelight at 98, I guarantee you I can help you get through it too. So don't hesitate to ask one of us to help you through those first couple of apps. Next, we have my creative marketing solutions. These are extremely talented folks that we have in-house on our payroll. We're not outsourcing any of this, and they can do literally all the marketing for you from A to Z. Whether it's a logo design, maybe you need to revamp your logo. Maybe your logo is 20 or 30 years old and a little stale. Let us take a look at it. We'll take a look at, what color schemes you like, ask you kind of what your vision is, and then we'll put it all together and make it look gorgeous for you. Maybe it's a website, maybe it's social media, maybe it's just brochures or a news post or, a social media post. Trust me, these guys are talented. They can whip that stuff around for you and take care of you real quick. The next slide here is in regards to our IAMS Wealth Management, a sister company, something that we developed many years ago. And the founder, Charles, and our president, Steve Murray, kind of got together and like, really, what else could we offer our guys? What else are we missing that we could offer them? And it was being on the security side, registered reps. And this is available for you if you're registered or if you're not registered or if you're thinking about getting registered. So one-stop shop here, guys. I'm going to launch a poll because if you do want additional information with IAMS Wealth Management as I'm talking about this, I do want you to go ahead and select yes here, but I'm going to launch the poll as I talk and explain this. So first thing, I mentioned earlier that I was an agent myself. I had my 6 and my 63, but before I had my 6 and 63, I had clients that, were interested and needed to be in and interested in securities. Well, I couldn't help them yet because I wasn't registered. So I had to bring on another guy, and that other guy, guess what? He put his name down for 50% on the rest of the business with that client. Then, there's all of these things that happen in our industry, and we all know what those are. So if you are interested in keeping your client to yourself and having 100% control of them, you can call IAMS Wealth Management, and they will help you with the securities part of that sale. Then if you ever want to get your securities license or get registered, guess what they'll do? This is the mind-blowing part. They're going to transfer your client back to you, no questions asked. I mean, nobody does that. Not even your cousin that is doing the securities and you're doing the fixed. He's not going to transfer it back to you. So I just think that says everything about IAMS Wealth Management and the partnership that they hold. If you are registered and you want to, utilize IAMS Wealth Management, you get all of the same customer service and back office support that you do with us. So it's mirroring exactly what we do on the fixed side. If you are interested in learning a little bit more, I think it also includes like your website. They do all your compliance for you. If you're kind of tired of managing all that stuff, drop your pen and paper and, hit yes, and IAMS Wealth Management will take care of you. So appreciate y'all answering the poll there. Got a lot of interest, so that's cool. I'll keep moving along. you guys that answered yes, you're going to hear from my buddy Duncan Smith, and he is the man with the plan. So be prepared for that. Next, we just wrapped up our last Life and Annuity Academy here a few weeks ago, but this is something that we are we are the only IMO out there that does these 2-day trainings. We take care of your travel expenses and all of that, and basically we put you in a room with other successful advisors and producers to learn about what other people are doing that's working out there in the industry. Hear about more advanced concepts, sales concepts, whether it's life or annuities. Rubbing elbows with other successful producers in the room and hearing what they're doing that's working, and you sharing what you're doing that's working. And that's the whole point of the IAMS family. If you could see my quotes in the air, that's why I call it the IAMS family, is because you really get that family feel. Everybody's on the same page for everybody to grow and be successful, and that's what you walk away with and going to one of our academies. Next one will probably be in the spring. Next, we also like to reward our folks that do 4.5 million in points. We consider that our top producer qualification for our summits. This year it's going to be at Kiowa Island in South Carolina. I understand this is a very high-end resort. I haven't been there, but maybe one day I'll go. But yeah, this one they're pulling out all the stops. As you can see from the picture, this is a exquisite golf resort spa. I understand that there's a lot of celebrities that have properties around this resort. So if you are interested in knowing where you are at and qualifying for this, you have until the end of this year, 12/31/23, to still qualify. Never think it's too late. I had a guy that just got contracted with us 2 weeks ago, and he's already at 3.8 million. So it's definitely possible. Let me know if you have questions or where you qualify or anything like that, and I'll be happy to assist you there. Well, we are a marketing organization, so clearly we're going to have social media. We have Facebook and LinkedIn. I encourage you all to go in there and like our pages, check it out. We keep those up to date with a lot of good information, pages you can share, maybe something that's an idea for your client. So keep your eyes on those. And with that, Rob, that is my IAMS intro. Now let's get to the good stuff.
You did awesome, Lisa. Congratulations. So,
thank you, Rob.
There you go. So you guys, good morning, and thanks for spending time with us. We know your time's valuable. I'll cut to chase on here a little bit, but one thing, just to kind of reiterate what Lisa went over, a couple things too personally that I love about IAMS. Number one, they've got a beautiful office out there, and it is fun to go to their events. I've been to a few of their events, and they always do a Class A, setup over there for everybody. But it's very informative, and so, hey, if you want some more information and some motivation maybe too, and just being able to get around some of your peers and getting some opportunities and different ideas on what's going on. It's like I talk to agents all the time, and they're like, I've been in this business for 30 years. And I'm like, great. Have you ever made over 250 grand? Well, I know they haven't, because I know how they're talking to me. And I mean, for some people, hey, maybe that's not their goal. But, if you've been in this business a long time, or even if you haven't been in this business a long time, but you're not getting to the spot you need to be in, the only thing that's going to make any difference is change. And I always tell agents, hey, you got to take your temperature. That means, at the beginning of the year, you probably set a goal for yourself. Well, if you wait until December, that's like watching a football game as a coach and waiting until the 2-minute warning to decide if you're going to make any changes. Well, the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter, you're not going to win any football games, right? And so if you wait until December to take your temperature on your goal you set in January, you're not going to do anything. So big thing is, take the opportunity, do some stuff that's different. The other thing that I think is really important, I mean, I love all the bells and whistles IAMS have. One of the things I love about IAMS is, you know, the call there on the phone, they actually answer the phone. There's a live human being actually answering the phone. I have many times, I call there probably 2 to 3 times a week at least. I've had Steve that runs the company answer the phone many, many times. So it just gives you an idea of, like Lisa said, hey, we try and be a family over here at IAMS. Um, Aside from all the other pieces that they offer you, one thing I think that the agents don't really take any opportunity about is the marketing side to it. I see this from the appointment side, and I've been working with IAMS for, I believe, 6, 7 years now, Lisa, something like that, right?
100
Um,
years, something like that. Yeah.
it feels like 100 years. No, thank you. I didn't know I was that bad, but you guys, where the real opportunity lies, I always tell agents, I go, hey, you set this goal and you got to take your temperature along the way, but you also need to be smart about what you're doing and where you make money. And where you make money is not figuring out, hey, I need to rebuild my website. It might be you figuring out you need to do that. But for you to sit there and hammer away for hours and hours doing your own website, for you sitting away there hammering hours and hours on trying to market yourself, let these guys do it. I mean, they pay people millions of dollars that were brought up, educated in that marketing area. They're experts there. I'm not. You're not. Let them do it. That's a big opportunity for you guys. And going back to the appointments and getting into what I deal with on my side is same thing goes there. It's like I look at agents and, they're usually spending 2/3 of their day trying to figure out, hey, how do I market myself? How do I build my new website? How do I get in front of more clients? Um, you're sitting there wasting, when I say wasting the time, is it work that needs to be done? Yes, but it needs to be done by the right person. And so you're probably not the right person if you're a financial expert. What you do, it's like when Tom Brady was a quarterback. Tom Brady was a quarterback. He didn't catch the ball as well, right? He didn't snap it, right? So play your position. I see a lot of agents do that. And look, if you could spend the 2/3 of your day that you right now try and figure out how to get in front of somebody, how to market to somebody, how to do this, how to do that, and you could take the 1/3 of their day and that you are kneecap to kneecap or dealing with your clients where you're actually selling or trying to sell product and trying to help people. If you just flip flop those 2 times and you spent 2/3 of your day doing that, your business just doubled. So you can have a two
Mhm.
and a half, usually to 3-time increase by pipelining in some of these opportunities and the appointment systems that I deal with. And we're going to kind of go over all those right now really quick, but they're an opportunity. They might not be a good fit. There's some other appointment setting systems that IAMS has that I'm not associated with, but we're just talking about in general some of the appointment systems. So Lisa, I'm going to kind of jump into that side unless you have any
Yeah.
comments on what I just said.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. So we're going to touch base on two different programs here today. One is and they're all going to really be primarily your 403b and state and municipality pensions. We're working, the federal market. I'll let Rob touch on that. We do have some opportunity if you're looking for federal leads. Rob, you can touch base on a little bit of that towards the end. But
Uh-huh.
primarily, we're going to talk about those other two programs. One is where you have a commission split, and one is where you don't. And then Rob is going to kind of touch at the end of this meeting on some other appointment type setting programs that we have access to that we can certainly get you in front of as well.
Yeah.
And so this isn't just these two and that's it. Please know we don't have enough time to go over all of them. We do webinars on quite a few things here. So really the best thing to do is to get a hold of your marketing director, life or annuity. And what we like to do is we like to see what fits you instead of you trying to fit a program. So we'll have that conversation with you. We'll get to know you and your business a little bit. And hey, this, like Rob said, this might not be the see all fit for you. You might be better suited for another one of our marketing programs or preset appointment programs or whatnot. But today we're just going to go over those two. Does that work
Yeah.
for you, Rob?
Works perfect. So where there's opportunity on these guys, and I'll tell you I'm going to give you a quick 10,000-foot overview about what's gone on, and these appointment systems in general. Number one, they're appointment setting systems. These aren't lead systems. One of the problems with lead systems, this just national averages. You buy 100 leads, the first 60 people don't pick up, you know, the next, 40 of them are like, hey, take me off the list for the 50th time. They don't realize the list has been sold 50 times, right? And you got a shot at the last 10. Problem is, even with the last 10, the ones you get a lot of the times are like, oh, I just signed up because I wanted to win a free gift card or a free iPad or a free this or free that. Um, you need to be efficient with your time. Doing that, I think, is good. And when you're a brand new agent, you're just getting into it because it helps you create a process of being able to talk on the phone and being able to, feel out what does work for you and what doesn't work for you. Where I think the real opportunity on this side is you're going to be dealing with educators, state employees, college people. Lisa did mention the federal market. We'll talk about that in the end a little bit. But where there's a big opportunity here with type of people, and I know for some of you go, oh man, that doesn't sound that sexy. I mean, I've got guys working the college market that are, both securities licensed and not. You don't have to be securities licensed to do this, but I have one guy that's moving 20, 25 million AUM a year off of those appointments. So there's plenty of business there. I have a life license guy that's moving, close to $1 million a week on these appointments. Now he's buying a lot of appointments, but this is a numbers game. So where there's really an opportunity here is what I would tell you guys to make it quick and simple on that side is, giving you that overview is, none of these appointment systems give away anything for free. That's number one. So there's no free iPads, free gift cards, free any of that stuff. Number two, when they reach out to the clients, they are talking to them about their pension and retirement. Hey, would you like to know more about your pension and retirement? Yes, no. Okay. Number three, from there, when the client gets engaged, the client's responding back, yeah, I do want to learn more about it. Great. Would you like to set up an appointment? Yes, I would. We actually have the client go in and set up the appointment. So on that side, what's cool about that is we have a real high show rate, right? Because the client creates the appointment. And then the last thing is we deliver it to your calendar. We're going to show you what a calendar looks like down the road here in a minute. But, the efficiencies on this side are really, really good. So the opportunities are good on that side of it. The other thing I want to tell you where the opportunity really lies, and I'll make this short story, but I'm talking to 10,000 agents in the crowd, and I'm like, hey, raise your hand if you have a fireman, policeman, a college professor, a school teacher, somebody that participates in a pension in your current book of business. Well, guess what? 10,000 hands go up in the air. On the next question I ask them is, hey, keep your hand up if you've ever reviewed their pension. Well, there were 5 hands up out of 10,000, just to give you an idea. So, I mean, big deal, right? It's a huge opportunity. It's a great opportunity. And one of the reasons I say it's such a great opportunity is one of the biggest challenges I hear from financial advisors is people like yourself is, hey, everybody I run into that has some income and has some money, has a job, whatever, already has a financial advisor. And how do I get around it? Well, the only way you're going to get around it is by showing that you are more knowledgeable than the current person they have. And if you can win somebody over, oh, Sally, you told me I had a financial advisor. Did he not review your pension with you? No, why? Well, you're not going to retire with 80 grand. You're going to be about 38,000 short. Are you aware of that? No. Let me show you how it's calculated. God, I can't believe your advisor didn't go over this with you. Well, when you show them a little tidbit of information that they didn't know, what happens to you is number one, you look brilliant, right? But number two, the biggest thing is to the client, they start thinking about that and going, hey, what else does this Lisa girl know that my current advisor, Steve, doesn't know, right? And that's where the opportunity lies. So, keep that in mind as we go along. But these are the markets where the appointments are available. The college in K through 12, I still like those appointments the best. The college market has a huge opportunity in it, and so does the K through 12. So, Lisa, I don't know what our next slide is. Did I miss something there though?
Yep. And then we do have the federal employees on here as well. Mark, do you want to just touch a little bit about what's going on in that environment?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
That
know,
federal
it's
market,
changed quite
yeah,
a bit in the last couple
yeah.
months.
Absolutely. The federal market's still available out there. Where it is nice is, hey, when you learn the federal pension, you know the federal pension, right? One of the nice things about that is it doesn't matter whether the client's from Texas, California, or Colorado. They're a federal employee. Reviewing their pension is pretty easy. Once you get it down with one federal employee, you get it down with all of them. Where there's a little bit bigger challenge is what I've seen happen in that market is the market's become really compressed. There's not a lot of federal employees. There's like 3.5 million federal employees across the US. Some of that data is not accessible. So if you think about like a Secret Service agent or an FBI agent, some of the IRS agents, they withhold their information. We know that person exists, but they only exist as client number, or employee number one. Um, and so we do not have information to contact them, or these appointment companies don't. And so they don't create appointments there. It becomes a little bit more challenging. Excuse me. And so what we've seen in that market is there's been a little bit of a compression. A lot of people have tried to jump into that market. But there are some appointment companies out there still making some things. There are some opportunities. The price on that stuff is increasing. Individually, if you're interested in federal stuff, my suggestion would be just get in touch with Lisa or your teammate over at IAMS, and they'll connect us, and we can have a one-on-one about what is available in that market,
Yep.
and talk from there. So that would be my conversation on federal for right now, Lisa.
Thank you. I know that we've got
Yep.
several, there's always a few folks out there that are just interested
There,
in that. They've been
yeah,
doing
and
federal
there
appointments
is,
and now
you
they're
guys,
not
just
getting
to
them
be,
anymore.
yeah,
So,
just to be clear on that, you guys, there is opportunity there, but do get in touch with Lisa, and then we'll take that on, case by case basis. But we can help you out. We can help you out for sure. The people at IAMS can help you on that. So, um, talking about this part of it, what's the process? I kind of went through a little bit about this, but the
mhm.
prospects are typically responding to emails. It's usually all digital generation. And the appointments are booked according to schedule and availability. What's cool about this system, you'll be able to go in, register, sit back, and watch your calendar fill with appointments. Everything we're doing is virtual. We're still seeing everything done virtually. The good side about that, you can spread your wings a little bit. I know there's some of you that go, hey, old school, hey, I want to work right here in my own little town and meet with everybody. And that's all great, but if you want to blow it up, and if you have big goals and you're living in a town with 6,000 people or 12,000 people, pretty hard to go, hey, I'm making 250 this year and I want to make 500 next year. You're going to probably struggle to do that unless you start spreading your wings. So change is what it's about. Anyway, what do we have next slide, Lise?
Yep.
And here's where your opportunities: 403B rollers, 457 annuities, and life insurance. The basic pitch on these appointments, and I'm compressing this, you guys, the appointments
Mhm.
you're going on are basically 2 to 3 appointment closers. But I mean, it's typically along the lines, hey, Sally Sue, school teacher, what do you think you're going to retire with? Sally Sue has no clue. 91 to 92% of the people that participate in a pension have no idea what they're going to retire with. And so typically that conversation would go something along the lines of, hey, Sally, can you give me a guess what you're going to retire with? She's probably going to go, well, 80 grand a year. Great. Where'd you get the 80 grand a year? Well, I've been teaching for, 18 years and I've been making 80 grand the last 3 years. I assume with my time of service and I'm making 80 grand, I'll retire with 80 grand. Great, Sally. You told me you had a financial advisor. Did she never review this with you? No, they never did. Why? Well, can you retire on 42,000 a year? No. Why? Well, there's a pension shortfall. Let me take you through the calculation. will take them through a pension calculation shortfall. Um, there's some ways to find that. I know questions are going to come out up about that. Hey, how do I calculate the pension? You can either Google it. There's software out there available for it. We can fill you in on all those details later. But what a lot of agents do is go, how do I calculate a state of Texas teacher pension calculation? And it'll show you you can Google it. Google's great for a lot of things, right? You can go in and Google it, and it'll show you what the calculation looks like. But, from there, hey, Sally Sue, she's got this shortfall. And then it's usually help, right? Hey, no, hey, well, did your financial advisor tell you this? No. Well, they didn't. Well, the good news and the bad news, right? Hey, good news, Sally, you got 42 grand, a little over half your expectation. The bad news is you're 38,000 short. Sally, what'd your financial advisor put in place? Well, it's nothing. Sally, what do you have in place? Nothing, because she wasn't aware of it. And then it's help. From there, most of the agents are going down the path, and there are two paths to a sale. We do have some videos about some of this, but one of the paths is going and working inside of what's called the pre-tax payroll deduction slot. What that looks like, just to make it easy on you, is you go into a school district. That school district for their 403B may offer, as an example, let's just say it's Voya, North American, and National Life Group. Sally Sue's 43 years old. She has $100,000 shoved away in her Voya account. There's these other National Life Group and North American, at least in this example, available. Let's just say North American has a bonus incentive going on. Even though the teacher's only 43, if you're licensed with the North American, that 403B can move from one vendor to another inside that payroll slot. What that looks like is the client would say something, or you would say something to the client along the lines of, hey, Sally, look, there's another retirement vehicle available through the school district. It's with, Voya, or your current money in Voya, it's with National Life Group or North American in this scenario. They have a bonus incentive going on. We're going to move your Voya account into National Life Group, and then we're going to increase your pre-tax payroll deduction. Those are really easy. My wife worked in this 403B market. She made close to 300,000 her first 8 months just doing little rollovers like this. She kept her calendar full. She was out. She's closing, 20, 25 pieces of business. Rolling, say an average rollover maybe was, $40,000 to $50,000 a rollover. She's moving $1 million a month. So that's one side to it, where some agents get locked up. Maybe they go, hey, I want to run the college market. There's a little more money there. Is there more money in the college market? Yes. Those payroll slots are a little more restricted. If your securities license, great. But if you're not, what that looks like is you're probably going to run into TIAA and Fidelity. The agent still does the same pitch and shows them the shortfall. The only difference is at the end of it, and this is the other path, is they're like, hey, Sally Sue, I'm a little concerned about your financial advisor, right? He didn't tell you're only going to make 42 grand, didn't tell you're 38,000 short, didn't put anything in place to cover it. I'm just curious, did he let you know you're going to have some tax liability on your pension money, on your 401A money, on your 403B money? The answer is always three things. No, how much do I owe? And what can I do to avoid the tax? And then usually the agent's setting up some kind of an IUL or an annuity outside of the payroll slot. Hey, professor, yeah, you're putting your $4,000 a month away in your Fidelity account. You've got the tax liability on it. What we can do to help you save on that is let's start up another IUL for you. Let's start up a annuity for you. Let's do something different, right? And instead of you putting it away post-tax, let's put it away, or instead of putting it away pre-tax, let's put it away post-tax. So they get them to, stop putting their $4,000 away over there and start putting their $4,000 away over here. So that's where really the sales side and opportunity comes, in these appointments.
Yep, I think you covered a lot of the different opportunities. Also keep in mind you're looking at the entire household. So, hey, Sally, are you just relying? Is it just going to be you focused on your 403B for retirement, or what other funds are you thinking about using for retirement? Oh, well, it'll be me and my husband. Oh, okay. What does your husband do? Um, oh, he just started a new job. Oh, really? Now, where did he work before? There's a rollover right there. So a lot of opportunity, and when we keep going here with some of, I think next I'm just gonna go right to the calendar, Rob, so they can kind of
Okay.
see while we're talking about the
Yeah,
calendar, what that might
absolutely.
look like.
So most of these systems operate with some kind of calendar system. Um, the one you're looking at here is from one of the groups. You actually sign into their system. It creates the calendar. Again, like I said, you're blocking out any time you don't want appointments. Most of these systems are creating appointments from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through, or 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Some of them do a little bit of stuff on Saturdays. Most don't, but typically you're going to go in here and depending on the type of volume you want. One thing I do want to make you aware of, if you jump in here and you leave your calendar wide open, what you see in green is an appointment. And so some of these days, if you look at the Friday the 5th on here, there's 5 appointments sitting on an agent's calendar. So if you leave your calendar too wide open, and you're not used to this market yet, you need to keep that in mind. This isn't pre-order stuff.
Mm-mm.
You have no contracts. Um, IAMS is taking care of sign-up fees, registration fees, all that stuff for you. So when you do these, it's just based on your calendar. We want to caution you on that side. We've had agents, and I see it with agents once in a while, where all of a sudden, they're taking 3 or 4 appointments a day, which is great once you get rolling on it. But you guys got to remember, you've got second and third appointments. If you're asking for referrals, that's going to fill your calendar up. So you want to make sure you're closing business. I've had cases, Lisa and I have both had these cases where, I'll call an agent and I go, hey, how's it going? You've been on appointments for 2 or 3. God, these appointments are great. And I'm like, yeah, well, have you sold anything? And they're like, no. And I go, you need to block your calendar off a little bit because you're not following up fast enough. And
Hmm.
so you want to make sure, hey, if you have an appointment on Monday, your goal on any appointment, I don't care whose system you're using from IAMS, your goal on your first appointment is to set a second appointment. That's your goal, right? Um, and so make sure you're thinking with that mindset, but you want to be cautious, as you get rolling into this. Different agents can handle different flows. I mean, it's like you look at this agent and they're probably taking, you know, 12, 15 appointments a week as an average, 12 probably. You'd want to make sure you block out your calendar. The big thing is, the nice thing about blocking out your calendar, if you go, hey, I golf every Friday, good for you. Block Fridays out, you won't get any appointments. But do keep this in mind. Some of these systems, if you leave your calendar wide open, they will fill it, and
Yep.
kind of go from there. I don't know if you have a comment on that, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that, when I'm working with my agents here at IAMS, I'm talking to them about their sales process, and we're going over some of those things, like, okay, so, how soon are you calling? What kind of drip campaign are you using? Maybe they don't have an opportunity for you today, but maybe there's an opportunity next month. How are you knowing to follow up with them next month? So some of the things that, we like to, remind you of is when you start a new marketing program, you don't just sign up one day and all of a sudden become an expert at it. Just like riding a bike, you got to ride a bike a few times and get used to the training wheels being off, before you can start speeding down the road, or jumping hills, right? So this guy that has this calendar, he's been jumping some hills. He's got it probably pretty down pat and has been on many, many appointments with the pension or state retirement, pensions or school districts or whatever category, for a while. So I always emphasize, hey, you're not doing yourself any favor by just, jumping into the pool. Let's get our toes wet first, and then make this program work for you. Because if you're not setting aside time for that second and third appointment, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money, and nobody gets paid that way. So that's all I wanted to add to that, Rob. Let's
Okay.
keep moving on,
Yep, absolutely.
and
So
we'll go ahead and get into Went too fast.
You're going too fast for me again. I
I know.
talk
Hurry
fast,
up.
but not
Talk
that fast.
faster.
So, so, the biggest opportunity here, I think, is the stuff, and it's like I said, the waive fees. I mean, IAMS has been kind enough to take care of that for you guys. I always laugh about they're really not waived. Lisa and her team over there are picking up those fees for you, but it's $64 an appointment. um, you know, these guys, do they take care of no-shows? Unfortunately, they don't. They'll take care of you in the beginning. One thing we see with agents is, we kind of give you some, some of these appointment companies try and give you some helpful hints. Some of the agents don't want to follow it. And typically what they'll see on the appointment company side is, they've got a couple thousand people buying appointments, and the average no-show rate is, 3%. And all of a sudden there's an agent that has it at 33%. Well, that's usually a red flag. So, watch that. There are some companies that charge a little bit more than 64 bucks. One of the guys is charging 74, $75. They're taking care of no-shows or replacing them. I shouldn't say taking care of them. That might be an opportunity on that side. And like I said, Lisa can go over that, but the one system that I really love, they're at $64 an appointment. Their appointment flow is great. There's no states that you can't work, with the exception of Indiana is one state most of them don't market into. But hey, if you're licensed in New York and you have product there and you want to work in New York, good for you. These guys can get you appointments there. Like Lisa said, there's no contract there. You want to buy one appointment, you want to buy 100. You're not really filling an amount. It's all based off of your calendar. The other thing I love about it is, you have no upfront costs. This isn't one of the deals where they go, hey, yeah, you need to give me $3,000 up front. These guys, you'll go in, you'll register. It'll take you once you get in touch with Lisa, and get everything lined up. They'll get you a VIP registration code or send you to me, and we'll get you signed up. You put a credit card in their back office, tell them, hey, these are the states I wanted. By the way, everything's by state. We missed that, Lisa. So if you go, hey, I want K through 12 in Nevada, Arizona, and Oklahoma, and I want college in blah 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 blah. You can do all that stuff. You can do whatever you want on that side, but it'll be the entire state. So you could be in the state of Texas. You could get, if you said K through 12, you could get a San Antonio school district, a Dallas school district, and an Austin school district, or a Houston one, all in the same day. The nice thing on the virtual side is, some of you guys don't love the virtual thing, but I'm telling you, get into it and start rolling on it. Business can be done there. There's a lot of business being done virtually. I don't know if I don't believe things will ever go back the way they were, but just my thought on it. Is there training? Yeah, there is some training that's available. And then Lisa and her team have some training things as well. And we're all ears on it. We want to help you guys out, help you get up and running, but you need to do some studying too, if you're not familiar with this market. Now, there's another system too, Lisa, I want to bring that up really quick, that if you have some deep experience in the 403B market, and that wouldn't be going, yeah, I know what a 403B is. But if you've worked in that K through 12 market before and you're aware of doing, hey, I've done a lot of rollovers in there and I'm really tuned into that school district market, IAMS has a special opportunity on that side. And Lise, did we want to bring this one up
Yeah.
yeah.
So the main two programs I wanted to talk to you guys about today while we're wrapping this up, and they're both going to run like everything that Rob and I just discussed here. They're going to be the same type of categories. It's going to be the same type of system. There's no giveaways. It's not sold over and over again, so you're not the 15th person to call them. They're all set in their own appointment. So if you call them, they should know why you're calling them for, because they set the appointment. So there's two different vendors that we have. There's one if you're already proficient in doing pension reviews and you don't need that type of training and you are already doing those things, then we have one where we take care of the cost of the lead and you put us on the application for 25% of the commission, you keep 75%. And I do have a question in the inbox, and I think that's what this gentleman is
Lisa, one
referring
thing on
to.
that too, not to interrupt you, but one thing on that, guys, just so you know, that is K through 12 only. They pretty much primarily only do K through 12, and they have some city counties. So if you want the college market, you're going to have to go into the other
Yep.
platform.
So that one is a little bit more limited on the categories than the other vendor that we have. That's the $64 per appointment. There's no commission split. All the business on both of these vendors obviously has to run through IAMS because we're paying that cost for you. So if you have questions on, what contracts to have with us and all of that jazz, you just talk to one of your directors or to myself, and we can help you with that. And then, like I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, is that we have other programs. We have federal programs. We have, I've have few people interested in specific categories, and we can certainly find those things for you, or whatever marketing um, avenue you are looking to go into. We can certainly either develop it for you, or we can, find a way to get you there. So those are the two appointments, though, either $65 per appointment for additional categories, colleges, municipalities, um, everything but the federal right now. And then we have the school districts K through 12 for a commission split, 25/75. And you just need to make sure you're maintaining those appointments and reporting the status of them. And I believe the required closing ratio on that is 20%. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, they want you to
Yep.
start out be 10 to 15 and work your way up to 20 to 25%.
Yep.
One thing I do want to say about that system that's cool is, it comes with a virtual assistant, and there's some other details in there, that help you to follow up with clients and aren't available for the other, through the other systems. But I would go over that individually with any of you, if you're interested on that side. But what I would say about both these systems, both of them really, really good systems. On the $64 one, the cool thing about that, and I didn't finish on that, I apologize, but you have zero upfront. They don't charge you until the day of the appointment. So
Mhm.
if you had 2 appointments today, they would charge you for 2 appointments today. So the nice thing is, for a lot of agents, hey, if your budget's a little bit tight, these aren't $350, $400 appointments. They're $64 because of your association with IAMS. I mean, it's a great deal. And you're not out of pocket a whole bunch of dough, and you don't have to upfront anything, which is even better,
Yep, for sure.
like so.
Now, if you're looking for those pre-qualified appointments where, they have a minimum of 250,000 to invest right now, we do have those. Those are going to be closer to that $300 pop. They're a little more expensive, obviously, but I mean, there's no way around it. You get what you pay for, right? Um, you know, Another thing I like to tell folks, for those that don't want to pay for their appointments and like that 75/25 split option, I tell them to go ahead and start slow with the $64 appointment program. Get your feet wet, become an expert in that area, and then we can always move you over to the free appointment commission split program. So um, there's just no way around it. That's the way the owner wants it, and that's the way those two programs are developed. So if you have additional questions there, we can certainly work through them.
Absolutely, absolutely. What else we got, Lisa? Is that our last one?
Man, I think we got this.
I think
Let
we
me
got
see if
this.
I have, as always.
Do we have any questions going? I
I
didn't see
don't
anything pop
see that
up.
we
I don't
have
know if
any
any of you.
additional questions. Another thing I just want to, mention is that um, as I go through this. Only other thing I want to mention is that make sure you're proficient in, utilizing Zoom or web invites, because you want to look professional in these appointments. You will save a lot of time from having to drive from house to house and cancellations and all that stuff. You basically have a secretary booking your calendar for you. Um,
I
so
would agree on that. Most of the agents are seeing a really nice increase because of that, and it does give you the ability. I mean, many of you are, multi-state licensed. I can tell you, just revisit the COVID thing, which was the first slide you start out with, which we kind of skipped over. But
mhm.
pre-COVID, just so you guys know, it's like I had one client, they had 11 to 1,500 agents that were buying virtual appointments from me when most of these companies weren't making virtual appointments, but those guys were doing extremely well. One thing we had seen, because I've been in this business for quite a while, is, year after year, we did see the increase of clients going, hey, I want, is our potential clients, potential teachers asking, hey, can I have a virtual meeting? Can I have a virtual meeting? I mean, it's just part of our society today, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's the way it's moved forward. The other thing is, in a lot of these, if you've worked the school teacher market for years and years and years, I have parents that I talk to still that go, Guy, they won't even let me in the school, and I'm a parent there, and my kid goes to school there. So, a lot's changed in our world between COVID and, some of the, shootings and some of the other things that go on, unfortunately. Things have changed. So, there's a big opportunity on this side. What I would say, I'd love to talk to each and every one of you. But the first thing you want to do is reach out to Lisa and her team over at IAMS, and they'll get you more information on what's going on, get you the VIP access, and that'll push you back to me, so we can get you guys at the right pricing and get you up and running, and we're here to help. So, Lisa, I
Yeah.
don't know what else you have.
Yeah, there are a couple questions I want to touch base on and answer. I'm sure, and I appreciate you folks putting stuff in the question box, because if you have the question, chances are someone else does as well. I'm sure your teachers always told you that in grade school. Um, but, about training, and I get this question a lot. Hey, how can I be proficient? What kind of training do you offer? And it's a little different for everybody. I mean, Rob mentioned Google is your friend. We don't have, for us to have, training on each pension, each state, each school would be amazing, but that's just not reality. So I do encourage you, as far as training goes for the school districts, to do that Google search yourself. Everything is discoverable there, on those reviews and on the schools, sites for their benefits. So you can certainly find that information out on Google. Now we are working on I've got a couple webinars on how your perfect first appointment works, how your perfect second appointment works, and I'll be sending those out to you guys, with a follow-up email and a copy of the recorded line or this recorded webinar in case you'd like to review it again. But as far as training goes, Google's going to be your step one, and then take a look at our couple webinars we have, with Curtis Hawks, one of the partners here at IAMS. He developed, what does a perfect first appointment and a perfect second appointment look like? And I would encourage you to look at those. Um, how to add additional carriers and additional states, that's easy. You just call your director and we'll take care of all that for you. That's that back office support that we provide. Another question is, as far as licensing, if you're looking at just being in a couple states, I've got some guys that are licensed in 20, 30 states. I've got some guys that are just licensed in one state. I will tell you that, um, unless you've been doing this a long time and you have, you might want to just stick with a couple of states so that you have those down pat as far as their pension plans go and their 403b plans go. Because you can imagine, if you go on this appointment and put yourself in the client's shoes, and they're asking you, what does my pension cover? What does my 403B plan look like? And you don't know, your accountability just went out the window. And you paid $64 for that appointment that you probably will not get back on the phone. So sometimes less is more, I guess is what I'm saying there. And you just want to make sure that you're starting out slow, getting to know them, and then as you start becoming more proficient, add whatever it is that you want to add, and your marketing director can absolutely assist you with that. Let me see. Yeah. So another one, another question here, Rob, if you want to answer this one, is what is the conversion rate look like on these?
I'd say conversion rate, great question. I always laugh when agents ask me, hey, what's the close rate? I always go, what's your
Hmm.
close rate? I've got some clients I've had for 7, 8 years working the school teacher market that are closing at 70, 80%, no matter which appointment system I've had them on. That kind of answers that. I'd say the average close rate's going to be in that 25% area, you know?
Yep. And
So,
like you mentioned before, this is still a
yeah,
numbers game. So even if you had a secretary at your office hired to call people and book your appointments and fill your calendar, every single person you meet with isn't going to be a successful appointment. There may not have a need, it might not be a fit. So that's what Rob was referring to as far
yeah.
as, to be realistic with you guys, it is a numbers game. But,
Hey,
you know,
Lisa, really quick too.
mhm.
One last thing I want to say. I love having all you guys here. We're at the top of the hour. I'm going to let Lisa finish up with you.
Yep.
Lisa, I've got my training with those other guys right now,
Oh,
and
shoot. I'm
they're
sorry.
waiting for me. No, you're fine. So, you guys, I really appreciate you taking the time. Reach out to the people over at IAMS. I'm going to let Lisa finish up from here, and we'll go from there. Thank you,
Yep.
everybody.
I apologize, folks. I did run a couple minutes over. So with that, I am going to let you all go. Know that you will be should be expecting an email from me later on today. Um, with everybody that's on here, you're going to have my contact information. I'm going to send you those 2 webinar links with their perfect first, perfect second appointment. I'm going to give you a rundown of what that $64 appointment program looks like, what the 75-25 comp split program looks like. And then you can simply reply to that. If you are not already contracted with us, I'll attach our contracting kit. And then I'll be following up with you all here in the next few days. And I look forward in talking to you. Thanks again for the questions in the question box and your time this morning. And everybody have a great rest of the week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.